So have you been able to do any home workouts so far or anything like that?
Yeah, I've still been working out in my coach's garage and stuff, here and there whenever I get a chance to, but nothing like how I want to. I'm ready to start sparring and getting back in the ring and stuff.
Right. So first of all, tell me how you first got started in boxing. How old were you when you first started boxing?
I was 11 and a half. We had just moved to Vegas, and we were looking for a gymnastics facility because I really wanted to do gymnastics, like really bad. I was super excited for that. The gym that I started in, which is the Richard Still Foundation gym, it's like in these warehouses, so all the buildings look exactly the same. I kind of got lost in there a little bit, and we went into the wrong gym. And Richard Still, the Hall of Fame referee, so he came up to me and he was like, "Can you bite?" And I was like, "Oh, I did a little something." He's like, "Okay, try it out. If you like it, you continue to do it. If you don't like it, no harm, no foul." So tried it out. It was literally the hardest thing I'd ever done in my little 11 and a half years of life, and I've been at it ever since.
Right. So you said gymnastics. Was there any other sports besides gymnastics that you tried playing before boxing?
Well, I was a cheerleader when I was younger. I was on the cheer team. I did a few, like, here and there. I dabbled a little bit in soccer. Like, I've done other sports, but not seriously. Boxing is the only sport that I've done 100% seriously, taken it this far, competed in the levels that I have competed in.
Right. So tell me a little bit about your amateur career. What was your record and what were some of the achievements that you won?
My amateur career was 36-4. I had 2 knockouts, and I was a 5-time national champ. I was a 4-time Beautiful Brawler champ. If you don't know a little bit about Beautiful Brawlers, it's this all-female invitational only event that they had every year in California. It's super awesome. It's just so empowering because I got to see all these other female boxers, I got to see their skills, and it was from any age, literally from 8 all the way to, I think the oldest woman who fought there was maybe like in her 50s.
Wow.
And it was all age ranges. It was amazing. It's great. It's a really great thing. So I did that. I'm a 4-time champ for that and 5-time national champ. I was on the USA team. I traveled from my house to, the OTC in Colorado Springs quite frequently throughout my amateur career.
Right. So tell me about being a part of Team USA. What is that like? And was the Olympics something that you wanted to achieve?
Originally, yes, I did want to go to the Olympics, but there was some bumps in the road that didn't have anything to do with me. It was more of just they weren't sure if boxing for USA was going to be in the Olympics, and I didn't want to risk it. I didn't want to take that extra year and then make it all the way to the trials just for them to say, like, "Oh, you can't do it this year. You got to wait another 4 years."
Yeah.
So I decided to take my career a step further and go pro. But being on Team USA was a really good experience. Going to the OTC, it was not just boxers. You see every Olympic sport, even the Paralympic sports. They live there, the residents there. So you got to see how they trained, you got to see how they ate, you got to see how they lived. It was a really nice experience. I was really happy to have had that experience, to have trained with some of the best coaches in the world, to have sparred some of the best boxers in the world. That was a very good experience for me. I feel really blessed to ever have even been in that spot.
Right. And I know your nickname is the Black Rose. Tell me about how you got that nickname and why did you choose that?
Honestly, my dad gave me that nickname. I'm not 100% sure why he chose it. I actually never asked, but I really enjoyed having that nickname because I feel like it embodies who I am. When I see it, it gives me some strength. I look at it and it makes me feel like I'm doing something important, and it feels good that other people know that that's my nickname. A lot of people who don't know me personally, if they see me like in a gym or, they're commenting on my stuff, it's like, "Oh my God, Black Rose," like that's how they know me because they don't know me personally. So for them to say that, it's like, "Oh wow, you actually know my boxing name, my fight name, this helps you, this inspires you." Like, "Oh yeah, I'm inspired by the Black Rose," and that's really cool to me. So I really like it. I think it's really catchy. I think it really embodies who I am. I think that it's just a really great name. So I thank my dad for that.
Right. Now, tell me about some of your favorite fighters. Who would you like to watch growing up? Who are some of your favorite fighters?
My favorite boxer is Mayweather. That's my favorite boxer because he's also southpaw, and I really enjoy his style. I like that he does a lot of output, but he also has really good defense as well. That is my absolute favorite boxer. Like, if I met him today, I would probably end up crying. I'm not gonna lie, I would probably cry. That's how much I like him. But I do enjoy watching, older boxers who are now retired. Sugar Ray Leonard, Mike Tyson. I actually met Mike Tyson when I was an amateur. I was about, I was maybe like 14-ish. I'm not sure, but I was around that age when I met him. He was very nice, and he trained with me. He held the bag for me. He helped me out, so that was really cool. Being able to meet somebody that you look up to or that you watch and you admire. Being able to get that one-on-one with them was really important to me. Muhammad Ali, of course. I think that's everybody's top tier. There's so many boxers, but I really like the older ones more than today's boxers. There's just a lot of flaws in these boxers today. So.
Right. Now, I know you turned pro last year. Tell me about the decision.
Mm-hmm.
Why did you decide to turn pro then, instead of waiting and continuing your amateur career?
Well, like I said, I wasn't exactly sure if boxing for the USA team would even be in the Olympics because there was a time period right before the year started for trials that they weren't sure. And I just didn't want to risk it. Plus I had just turned 18. So when you turn 18 in the amateurs, you go into the elite bracket, which means that you can fight a woman who's 33 years old and I'm 18. You have grown woman strength. Mine is just kicking in. You have all this experience, life and boxing. I'm just getting that stuff. So I just figured if I was going to fight these women who are older than me, stronger than me, have more experience than me, I might as well get paid to do it. I don't want to risk doing all of this for free just to turn around and not be able to go to the Olympics because of something else that has nothing to do with me.
Right.
So I just decided to take the future into my own hands and go pro.
Now, do you think that they should allow pros to be in the Olympics? What are your thoughts on that?
Well, they do. But if you have any belts or championships, you have to release them.
Right.
To be able to go back to the Olympics. I think once you turn pro, then no, you shouldn't go to the Olympics because that is for amateur boxers. That is specifically what that is for. Amateur boxers go to the Olympics. Pro boxers, they get title shots. They get, big TV, events. Those are our Olympics. Every title shot, every big national, worldwide event that we have on TV, those are our Olympics. We just happen to have them more often than the Olympics comes around.
Right, for sure. Now, obviously, we've seen you on the Floyd Mayweather channel and training with Jeff Mayweather and stuff like that. What was that whole experience like, just training there and being a part of the Mayweather Boxing Club?
When I first started there, I think it was like 15 or 16 when I first started training there at Floyd's. And it was interesting to me because I wasn't used to being the only female there consistently every day. I wasn't used to all the extra testosterone. I was used to training around other amateurs or, kids. I wasn't used to training around adults who are very competitive, who are very, alpha male, alpha female. I didn't know how to handle that at first because I was like, dang, what is this? But when you're there, they respect you based on how hard you work. So with just me working regularly, that's how I gained respect there in that gym. That's what you do. When you go in a gym and you're around people who take this seriously, who live off of this sport, they respect you based on what you bring to the table. So if you work hard, you get respect. If you're in there and you're just BSing or you're just, causing problems, you're not going to get any respect from anybody in there, no matter who it is. So just me going in there and working hard, my own thing, staying out of whatever little petty gym drama that there could possibly be, I got the respect from a lot of really top tier fighters, and it's nice because I get to have that advice. These people have been through this already, and they're giving me advice to help me get through it a lot easier and smoother than they didn't have people.
Right.
I do feel incredibly blessed for that.
Right. And you still train there currently, right?
Yeah, I still train there currently. Well, not right now.
Oh, right. Yeah.
But yes, I still train.
Right. So who are some of the pro fighters that you've sparred with and trained and worked out with there?
I usually train around all of them. They all come in there all at the same time. So I've gotten a chance to train and actually work with Ava Knight and I've also gotten advice from and trained as well. Just all of the Mayweather through there, the Charlotte twins were there at one point. Rigondeaux came through to train, so I get to train beside, get advice from all these people. Chris Eubanks, senior and junior, trained there for a point in time, and they gave me some pointers. So it's really good. Anybody who lives here or is signed under the Mayweather Promotions or just come to train there, they're very nice and very open. They're willing to give you advice. They're willing to watch you, to help you out, so they're very humble people that come through that gym.
Right. Now, do you have a promoter or right now, currently?
Right now, I'm doing my own thing.
Oh.
I'm self-promoting, so I'm finding my own fights. I'm doing everything. I have advisors, of course. I have people who help me out. My father's one of them. I have some other people from the Mayweather gym who help me out getting fights and stuff. So I'm very lucky to have them. I am looking at a few different options on who I can sign with. I do have a few options open right now, but I haven't made a decision yet.
Right. Now, currently you're 3-0 with 2 knockouts in your career. I know your last fight was a no contest. Can you explain what happened there?
Yeah, so that should have been my fourth fight. What happened was when we were in there, I had her against the ropes, and I was throwing her my combo. What she did is she came forward. She tried to throw overhand. She came forward with her head. And when I flipped the overhand, our heads collided, and my forehead hit her nose. So it made a gash, right here. And she was bleeding. But she wasn't bleeding a lot, but she was bleeding. And they asked her if she wanted to continue, and she was hesitant to it. So, because they said that it didn't last the whole round, that they were willing to no contest.
Right. Now, is there anything in the works for your next fight? I know we're still in the pandemic, but is there anything maybe later on in the fall or in the winter that you know about potentially having a fight?
Yeah, so actually I was supposed to fight in Montana May 30th. That was supposed to be my next fight. Unfortunately, because of quarantine and the COVID-19, that got canceled. Well, it didn't get canceled. It got postponed. So that will be a fight in the future. Just not May 30th. But I know for a fact that I will have another fight in Tijuana. As soon as everything opens back up and we get cleared to fight, I will be heading down there.
Right.
As soon as possible to get a fight.
Yeah, because isn't there still a travel ban and then you wouldn't be able to fight? Because I know all your fights have been in Mexico, right?
Yeah, all my fights have been in Mexico.
Right. Now, is there anybody you want to fight or particular that you would like to go against? Anybody?
Honestly, I will fight whoever they put in front of me. I don't care who they are. I don't care how much experience they've had. I don't care about their pedigree. I'm willing to fight anybody in my weight class, a weight class over, a weight class under. I'm eager to get a start of my career, get where I want to be. I have 3 fights, but I have a long pedigree of amateur career. So I know what I'm doing. I've been in the ring a long time. I've been around all these people a very long time. These same people who are champions right now in the pros, I was right behind them in the amateurs. They just left the amateurs right when I started getting my national championships. So I was not too far behind them in the amateurs, and I plan to catch up and surpass them in the pros, because that's what you're supposed to do. You're the next generation under. You're supposed to level up on the generation above you. If you're not doing that, then you're not doing your job.
Right. So what are some of the goals that you would like to achieve in your career when it's all said and done?
I would honestly like to unify all the belts. That is my main goal for my career, is to unify all the belts. I could care less about fame. I could care less about money. That's my goal. I want to unify all the belts by the end of my career.
Right. Now, I know lots of people like to duck fighters and stuff like that because they want to keep their undefeated record intact. Is having a perfect record something that's important to you? Or do you want to fight the champions? Do you want to get out there and, win, even if you have a loss, as long as you win world titles and stuff like that?
I don't think that having a perfect record is the most important thing. Honestly, you're going to win some and you're going to lose some. Some of the greatest champions in the entire world of all time have losses. There is not one champion that people talk about today who has not lost. Muhammad Ali has lost. Mike Tyson has lost. Sugar Ray Leonard has lost. All the legends have lost. So having a perfect record does not make you one of the greats, to me. Because what makes you one of the greats, to me, in my personal opinion, is that you get in there and you fight whoever, whenever, and you're not scared of them. That's what this sport is about. This shouldn't have beef. This shouldn't have animosity behind it. This is a sport of honor to me. You get in there with someone who is on your level or higher than your level, and you guys honor each other by honoring your skill set. You're competing with each other, but it should be honorable because you're appreciating the skill set that you both bring to the table, and you're giving a show to people who come and spend their hard-earned money to see it. And I don't ever have beef with anybody about a sport. I'm not going to beef with you about a sport. This is a sport. I have good sportsmanship. That's the whole point. This should be a sport of honor, and people today have turned it into something that it's not. And they've made it all about having a perfect record, like, oh, perfect record makes me better than you. No, if I have fought champions and you have not, whether I have losses or not, that makes me a champion. And that just makes you someone with a perfect record.
Right. I understand what you mean. So who are some of the female fighters that you look up to so far?
So my number one is Cecilia Brækhus. I'm not sure if you're familiar with her, but she actually has unified all the belts for her weight class. I think she is a really good standard of what female boxing should be because she is very business orientated as well as a really hard worker in the sport, and she knows how to handle herself. She has a lot of class, and she knows how to sell tickets, but she also knows how to be respectful. I've never heard of her disrespecting somebody in a way that a lot of fighters do today. So I look up to that. I really appreciate that as a person, bringing that class and that elegance into a sport that is so brutal.
Right, and she's undefeated.
Yeah, and she's undefeated, exactly. But she doesn't shy away from who she has to. She'll fight anybody. She fights all the champions. She just works hard. She has a good work ethic, and she wants it more.
Right. Now, I want to ask you, as a boxing fan, not as an athlete now, about some of the potential fights coming up with some people. What would you think of Claressa Shields versus Layla Ali? What are your thoughts on that? Who do you think would come out on top of that fight?
Honestly, I hate that comparison. I honestly do. I really hate the comparison. I'm gonna answer your question. I do think Layla would win. I'm gonna answer your question, but I'm gonna tell you that I absolutely hate that comparison because I don't see the point in calling out a woman who's been retired for 20 years. I really don't. I don't see the point in calling out a woman who has had several children, who has a TV show now, who's not worried about getting in the ring at all to fight you, when there are plenty of women in your weight class right now who want to get in the ring with you. I'm not going to call out somebody who's been retired for 10 years because it gets people talking. I would rather have people talking about something that is more likely to happen, like, oh, I'd rather talk about me fighting Marlon or me fighting Sinisa rather than me fighting somebody who retired 20 years ago, and it's not worried about me at all. At all. I've never liked that. Like, I've always said, like, that wasn't a good move. That honestly wasn't. And I know Layla wouldn't back down. She was like, you pay me, right? I'll get in there. But it's still the fact that, like, you're disrupting this woman's life. She's surpassed boxing. She did what she had to do, and she's gone now. You know, so I would rather, as a boxer, I would rather any other female boxer, female or male, to focus on what's in front of you, not what has nothing to do with you.
Right. Is Sanisha Estrada, is she somebody you would like to fight eventually?
Oh yeah, of course. Of course, we're in the same weight class. You know, she's a champ. Of course, anybody who is on my level, who has those championships, you know, who I'm gonna have to meet, I'm looking forward to meeting. I'm training so that I can make a career for myself, so that I can go far. And that's only going to happen through hard work and doing what you have to do. This sport is a business. You have to climb through the ranks. Sanisa's part of climbing the ranks. So I have to meet her eventually, and I will.
Right. Now, what do you think of Lomachenko versus Teofimo Lopez? What do you think would happen in that fight?
I think Lomachenko will win, honestly. I think Teofimo is strong. I do think that. But Lomachenko has his amateur style even in his pro. And that's how he wins all his fights, because he still fights like an amateur in the pros. He takes advantage of all the empty spaces that you could throw punches in. You know, every second he's throwing a punch, or he's moving, or he's ducking, or he's, you know, switching angles. So that's why he has the upper hand over most of his opponents, because he moves like an amateur and they train like pros. And that's why he always gets the win. And I think that would be a really good fight. But I do think that Loma will win.
Right. And of course, everyone's talking about Devin Haney versus Ryan Garcia. What do you think would happen in that fight?
I think Devin will win. Ryan is good. Ryan has skill. I was with both of them in the amateur nationals. So I did see them both when they were amateurs, and I have seen them both now as pros, and I have seen their progress. But I think Devin has more strength, and he has more work ethic. He wants it more. You know, Ryan is a really good boxer. He's very skillful. But with all the popularity that he has gained since he became a pro, I feel like that affects his work ethic, because I feel like he works harder in the amateurs than he does now. You know, I feel like now a lot of the things that he does is for show, not so much for the sport. I know he still loves the sport, and I'm not knocking him. He's very good. He's very talented. He has a lot of skills. So I'm not knocking him at all. I give him all his props. But to fight the people that he has to fight, he needs to work harder. And he's not working harder than he was in the amateurs. You have to work twice as hard as you were working before to get somewhere in the pros. And I feel like he's either working the same or a little bit less, because all the popularity and all the fame that he's gotten since he turned pro has kind of affected him in his work ethic.
Right, for sure.
So, but Devin comes to Floyd. He trains with Floyd. You know, I've seen him firsthand, sparring, fighting, you know, so I know that he works hard. Every day he comes to Floyd, he works hard. I see him. He works really hard. So I know that his work ethic gets him places. That's why his record is how he is now. That's where he is. Where he is right now in the sport is because he works hard.
Right. Now, Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder, as we know, they've fought already twice. Fury winning one, and it being a a draw basically. The first time. What do you think would happen in the third time, which they're probably going to happen later on this year?
I honestly think Tyson Fury will win if they fight again. The last fight, Deontay Wilder, he looked really scared in there. Honestly, he looked really scared. And he's a power puncher. So all he throws is power. That's it. That's all he throws. Tyson Fury is big, but he can move. He has good footwork. He can move. He can flip. And that agility that he has with the strength that he has and how big that they both are, that is what will always make him win over Deontay Wilder. Now, if Deontay went and got a whole bunch of new trainers, a whole new, a team and they helped him with that and he improved his footwork, his agility as well, then that would be a different situation because then it would be a little bit more even on both sides. But because he only throws bombs, that's all he does, he will always come in second place to Tyson Fury. That will always be what it is until he changes what he's doing.
Right. Now, just two more questions. First, what's your opinion on boxing movies? I've spoken to lots of fighters. Most of them have told me that they don't really like boxing movies and they feel that they're unrealistic. So what's your opinion on boxing movies? And what's your favorite boxing movie?
My favorite boxing movie?
Yeah.
Oh, I really like Creed. I like Creed. Creed 1 and 2, those are really good movies to me. Rocky, obviously Rocky. All the Rockies. Those are classics. But boxing movies are movies. That's what they are. They're not for boxers. They're for everyone else. So obviously they're going to be unrealistic because it's Hollywood. Hollywood is unrealistic. Hollywood turns all of our lives into something more glorious than what it actually is. So you can't expect it to be exactly like it is. If it was exactly like it is, then it would be a documentary. It's not. It's a movie.
Right.
So I personally like boxing movies. I might make fun of them because I'll be like, that's not how you stand. That's not how you throw. Like, that punch looks fake. Like, I'll make fun of it like that. But at the end of the day, I know, and I've been acting since I was 4. I actually went to high school. I was a theater major. So I've been acting all my life. So I know I have the expectation that it's not going to be what it really is in real life. And I don't expect it to be. I go for the entertainment just like everybody else. You know, that's what they make these movies for. They don't make them so the boxers can be happy. They make it so that the people paying for the tickets will be happy. They want other people that aren't in the sport to watch it. You know, so they focus more on the drama, more on the love, more on everything else other than the boxing. The boxing is just, you know, it's just what makes it come together. So I personally don't have a problem with boxing movies. I enjoy them just like the next person. They're not completely realistic. They're not 100% true or factual, and they never will be. But as long as you have that in your head going in, then just enjoy it for what it is. It's a movie.
Right. Now, last question for you. In your opinion, who are your top 5 fighters all time, pound for pound?
Okay, my top 5. Ooh, my top 5. All right. Muhammad Ali, Sugar Ray Leonard, Pacquiao. This is in no order, by the way. This is in no order. Pacquiao, Mike Tyson, and for my last one, I think I'm going to pick Hagler.
Yeah, I like that. I'm from New Jersey, so Marvin Hagler's like the best.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Marvin Hagler's like the best boxer ever from New Jersey, so yeah.